That heifer right there just don't even care.
Straighten yourself out.
Action. What do you say, folks?
Happy New Year to you.
Yes. Hope everybody's having a
A safe one.
safe and blessed one right now. As we wrap up 2023.
And that's just really, really crazy to say. This whole year is gone already.
On to the next one. It's a new,
I am looking forward to a fresh start though, in the spring.
new season.
Yes.
All around, not just the bee season, just a new season in life in general. But yeah, we're excited too about the new season of beekeeping coming up.
Yeah.
We
Why don't you go this year?
no, you said you was gonna write them down to give you the pen and piece of paper.
Prayer list out and put the pen back.
Yeah.
And you didn't write it there.
Some miscommunication. She never listens to me, y'all.
That's a really good way to end this year.
Yes.
Start fresh.
But anyway,
Yeah.
some of y'all know what that means. Get on with the conversation, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Moving
on.
Had a pretty good week. We've had some fine weather down here.
Man, it turned off pretty today. Like it really, really did. Finally.
Been cold in the morning, don't get us wrong. Or our cold. I think it's been low 40s, high 30s.
Yeah.
It did get close to freezing. I think Tuesday or Wednesday got close to freezing, but
Mr. Mike said start fresh with 2 black eyes.
yes, sir.
Go along with them black eyed peas, huh?
Hey, back in early 2023,
Oh my gosh.
I was picking with her about this one day, but the sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me and her, we cut up a lot, and
Yeah, just like rid. I mean, y'all see us all the time, just ribbing each other. We're not mad. We're not fighting. It's just normal conversation for us.
so it's like I'll pick with her, and it'll be to the point of, well, you can vote now. You're a woman. You have them rights and all this kind of stuff. Well, then she'll turn it around on me and say, well, that's a man's job. That's what you need to be doing. It's not a woman's job. Just those kind of things. But I don't know. It was earlier in the year, and I was carrying on with her. And some of y'all women are probably going to get fired up about this. But I was telling her, I said, well, it's a woman's duty as the wife to fix the man's sandwich.
And he was just kicking, like seriously. He was.
And buddy, she come back at me about womanly duties and this and that.
He got an earful about womanly duties.
But with that being said, we had a family get together yesterday, and the new brother-in-law, I was carrying on with him about that. I said, you need to tell that wife of yours now, she needs to be getting you some sandwiches made. Well, he come to church, his eyes busted. He had some busted blood vessels in his eye. He's like, brother, what in the world happened to you? He looked at me and said, I told her to fix me a sandwich. But him and the youngins was playing and it ended up busting his eye. Long story short, but it was pretty funny with him telling me that he told her to make that sandwich and now he's got a busted eye the next morning. But beekeeping ain't much really happening yet. Went and checked the feed. They was flying a little. Yeah.
Y'all did technically get in the house.
Yesterday, got my nephew after our little family get together. He wanted to come home with Uncle Tim while Handy Boo and Mama went on a girls' day. So we come back here, went down there and looked at the bees, and y'all, we talked about this a little bit before, but he wants to be a beekeeper. He's 7. He wants to do it, help Uncle Tim and Handy Boo and all this. But he has a major problem wanting to know why the boy bees can't stay in the hive. And that was the problem again yesterday. Uncle Tim, are there boy bees out there in the hive, or did the girls kick them out and make them leave? So it kind of worked out in our laying worker hive, queenless there. Well, she's got plenty of drones in there. So went down there and got a couple drones and let him look at them, and a few little workers that's left landed on his jacket. And he finally got himself where he'd reach down there and pick that bee up. And he's like, "It's a girl, it's going to sting me." But
DC said, "Be honest with him. The girls are mean."
that's what I'm telling.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got that little worker on his hand, and he looked at me. He said, "Uncle Tim, will you take a picture of me and send to Mom?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, we can do that." So he held his first worker bee yesterday. He's an official beekeeper in his world, and he had a good time with it yesterday. So it was a blessing having him out there. And we went and rode around and looked at some land and metal tacked on after that. But I guess for a minute we kind of reminisce something. We're at the end of the year. I guess we should reminisce throughout the year of what become of it, I guess.
You should have got all your beekeeping news notes together and done a review.
It's a new year, people.
Maybe
Coming up.
next year.
Yep. Maybe next year.
We might finally get it together.
Yeah.
I kind of doubt it though.
Remind me to reminisce about the year. So real quick, I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna run back real fast. We asked the community what y'all wanted, or what would y'all like to see from us going into 2024. And we did a little poll, and ones of you that voted, I was sitting here watching the numbers on it, and it would go up one way, then it would go down to another one. Then I think it was 3 different times it equaled out on 2 different suggestions. But as of right now, on there, what would y'all like to hear, or what would y'all love to hear from us coming into the new year? All right, 43% of you says don't change nothing. 14% says just open up. Let's go straight into a live chat. 36% says more guests and such. Then we got 7% seeing more of old Jasper. Now, I could just about bet I know who one of the Jasper votes are. It don't show in here, who voted.
Mm-hmm.
But I can just about bet a fella over there in Louisiana is one of those Jaspers. I may be wrong, but I'm going to say that fella over there probably voted for old Jasper. But we appreciate the input, y'all.
We do.
We're working on some guests. We have got some lined up. Absolutely. Coming into the new year. One of them we see in the chat now.
DC Lee rigged the vote.
Well, he figured it out. I mean, I don't know, but yes, I think it was old Lee over.
He said reminisce about the year. Sharon said you got lucky with the birds and the bees explanations.
Well, that was in previous conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, 3 or 4 lives back, we went through it a little bit, but I did have to explain a little bit of the birds and the bees, but I didn't get into them buzzing, if
We
you will.
left most of that for his
Yeah.
mom and I.
But I done my best to keep it simple and more or less told him, said, look, hey, you talk to your mom about the rest of it. And I told his mom, I said, look, this is what the conversation was about. And he may be coming to you asking questions on it. But yeah, man,
He said, just leave the birds out. Talk about the bees.
that's about what we had to do. Yes, sir. But he, I think if he does, I think he'll actually enjoy getting out there doing them now. Maybe in a couple years, really kind of see if he wants to do it, kind of thing. But he seems to take interest in it. Yeah.
He wouldn't take this thing.
Oh no, Lord no.
It'd be over with.
That would end it right there. 1st good steam. But reminiscing of the year, January.
Memory lane.
Ooh. January the 1st, me and her were some sick puppies. I'm telling you.
I was thinking, how in the world can you remember?
I won't forget that.
A year ago, when you can't remember breakfast yesterday.
Or a tape measure whenever I walk 5 feet from whatever I just measured. But I don't know. It been a long time before I forget about this mess. But we had come down with flu, the virus. What we come down with something, and we were sick. But one thing that kind of made it a little better, the conference was going on, so there were several of y'all at the conference doing lives and different things like that. So we would sit and watch the lives, everybody going on. February, we had Little Valentine. We had 3 queen cells the whole season. But Valentine, she was the first and the only one to take, and we still got her out there today. Then March and April, man, we was thinking, here we go.
It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna kill it this season.
I'm on the phone just about every single day with some of y'all, and Mr. Mike Conley, me and him talked for days and days and days. And I'm all amped up, having a good time, waiting for the flow to come in. We didn't have nothing. It was a dead season as far as honey flow. Being able to do any splits, grow the yard. Our goal for 23 was to be at 25 colonies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we lost 9 because we come in the season with 11, and we ended up losing 9 from the time we started in the spring until, I'm gonna say, at the end of June. And we was roughing it with the last 2 we got out there, or the last one. Then we went and bought that new late season. But
we got 3 out there.
Yeah, counting the open air bunch out there. But
DC, honestly, I mean, I know people probably get tired of hearing it in videos, but I mean, it's saved what colonies we got left out there. The peppermint oil.
oh, absolutely. I was telling the fella at church. Some of y'all may remember us mentioning them earlier in the season, but a brother at church, they got their first colony, and they wanted to do, for their little gardens and things like that around the house. I'm talking to him today. He says, Tim, I put that peppermint oil stuff down in the bottom of that tray with that diatomaceous earth, and I ain't seen a high beetle all year. And he was telling, appreciate you telling me about the peppermint and all. I said, well, brother, I got to be honest. I said, we've been putting the candies in there, and don't get me wrong, it helps a great deal. I said, but I wish we'd have listened a little bit sooner, and it was more talking to Mr. Mike Conley. He said, Tim, I put that peppermint extract in there, and there ain't no high beetles none around. And whenever we finally picked up some peppermint extract, and we had that eucalyptus oil to deal with, so I put that in there. and we started that in late July, probably. And every time we've been out there, Hannah would make that little bit of run across the rest and frame rest and run that peppermint extract and that eucalyptus mix. And y'all, that blows everything out of the water that we have tried combined for us. So that will be the number one thing that we attack the hive beetles with coming into spring, on top of, once again, treating the ground with some kind of grub X or something.
What is this? Is funny.
I think Earl is actually injecting it into the frame ears.
Okay, we did that a little bit, but our climate is pretty different from Earl's too. But it didn't seem like it lasted as long. If I actually stuck the needle in the wood, that's why I started just like this sound. I can't. I don't know how to say it. I don't want to say shooting a line, but shooting a good heavy stream of the solution out of the syringe all the way across that frame rest, and like letting it puddle up and kind of slowly soak into the wood. That just it seems to last just a little bit longer down here.
And y'all want everybody that's been here with us for a good while, and we appreciate the new subs coming on board as well.
We do.
Absolutely.
We've had several of those here lately.
But y'all know the history. Last year, 2022, same problem, beetles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Earl come in with telling us about the peppermints. Well, that slowed them down a good bit. The candy.
But we had to do it a lot more often. Like the bees they could dissolve 8 peppermints in a day,
no problem.
A day and a half, kind of thing. But the oil, he started using it, right? That was how we got on it.
Earl,
and then we mixed in the eucalyptus with it. But once we switched to that, I mean, we've gone stretches of like 3 weeks without popping a lid and go open it and not see a single beetle in there anymore. And
y'all know the beetles that we deal with down here. It's not that we have, there's 10 or 12 beetles in here. We have hundreds and hundreds of beetles.
It'll make you stand proud of those tops. And they just go everywhere like termites or something.
But that has been absolute blessing number one. And also, we will definitely be carrying that in. That'd be the main deal in the toolbox for us for the most part.
Yeah, as far as beetles, like I don't think we've fired up the beetle back since we started doing that.
We have. Honestly, that's true. We had the old Beetleback 1000 sitting out there in the yard shivering tonight. But no, it's really, really helped. Then let's see. Going into the fall flow. Y'all
pumped again.
Yes.
There was goldenrod everywhere.
I mean, it was beautiful. We're driving all down the road, and around here it's piney woodland mixed with oak. But then there's a whole bunch of open fields between everybody doing, the different crops throughout the year. So you driving down the road, you may see a 60-acre field, no problem. Then, 100 acres of woods. But in the fields where they hadn't turned the dirt,
it was just going off.
Beautiful.
Everywhere.
And let's see.
But then it didn't do anything.
It sure didn't.
It did. We put out a video, didn't we, in the field? Yeah. I mean, we're seeing bees all over them, and they're covered in pollen, and we're thinking, this is great, and nothing.
Oh,
absolutely nothing.
Just enough for them to get their stores for the most part, and able to. They drew out, I'd say, maybe a frame or two, maybe. They drew out, but other than that, no, that was it. Then, I guess coming into the latter part of the season, about where we at now in the fall, we went and got the nuke. Early October? I think.
I think so. We were talking about that the other day, and I never went back and looked.
But y'all can see on the last actual video we done, we went and checked on her, and she is doing wonderful. That little girl, she got a good brood pattern laid up in the frames. Nice bunch of bees, and little old Valentine, she's doing good over there. Then on one of the beetle situations, one of the colonies, they absconded on us. All right. Well, everybody absconded eventually, but
It wasn't just one.
one absconded from the box and they went up into a tree limb, probably, I don't know, typical 25, 30 feet up around here. And we watched them for a couple of days and think, well, they're going to head on out. Well, we got to notice in a week or so rolled by and they still up there. Before you knew it, we started seeing little bits of comb coming down. So the little open air colony out there, they appear to be making it themselves. Should I tell about the drones? Okay. Yeah, I got me a little Christmas present to tinker with. Bought an El Cheapo drone. So if I tear it up, which is probably going to happen, it's not going to be that big a deal. But hoping before I tear the thing up, we can get up there and get some video and actually see how the little open air colony is doing up there. But when you go out there, daytime, good, nice and warm, pretty, you can see them little, I guess, the sunlight reflecting off their little wings, but they busy little bunch up there. And here we are now, y'all, wrapping up 2023.
Let me tell you what, though. From all of our plans and what actually happened and came to fruition this year, on a lot of things, not just in the big yard, but a lot of things. Our pastor just pretty well summed it up for me this morning in church. I was like, that's a really good thought to end this year on. But the verse he quoted that come up, and it come up in my devotional app this morning, but the verse was man man chooses his steps, but the Lord directs his paths.
Yeah.
And I was like, if that's not the truth, I don't know what is, because Lord knows how many plans we made this year that just wasn't happening on our own. That he had a whole nother plan, and he's directed our path every step of the way with it.
It's one of them old sayings. You hear the old timers say, you want to make the Lord laugh, make some plans. And that's about how it was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But to top it all off, and we'll get into everything here, but since we're wrapping up the year and part of the reminiscing part, I wanted to hold this. I guess for the top of that, the cake topper, if you will. But this goes out to all of y'all. Y'all have loved us and been so kind to us and been a blessing in many, many ways.
So many ways. So many ways.
The ones of you we talked to on the telephone, email back and forth, just in general, just, picking up the phone and chatting for a minute. But y'all came together for us around April of this year at a point to where we was at a crossroads, if you will. And I'm going to just kind of go highlight for any of the newer folks in here, but some of y'all probably know where I'm going to go with this. But when we was out there in the yard that day, me and Hannah doing inspections, Hannah took a steam. Within a matter of seconds, it turned from checking bees to, oh my word, I got to get her to the hospital and now. Well, fast forward through that event, a day or two later, Lee and Bob done their Tuesday night live. And y'all, I was at the honest, genuine truth. I was just coming on to get suggestions on some good quality beekeeping apparel, PPE, protective equipment. Okay. And I just asked y'all, hey, look, can you give us some suggestions who, y'all like this and that, so on and so forth. And before you knew it, Lee and Bob's channel just started rolling. I think it was Brian from Flower Street that started all this. No. It was Dennis Lent. Either way, one of y'all said, hey, I got $20. Get Hannah a suit. And it just flowed from there. Y'all come in and y'all raised, I can't remember the exact dollar amount. We had to find the piece of paper. But the beekeeping world, people we have never met, and probably just one or two at that point that we even talked to on the telephone, y'all raised enough money so that my wife, she could continue to enjoy beekeeping and be safe in doing it at the same time. Mm-hmm. Because, like I told her on the way from the hospital, I said, we'll sell it all right now. I'm not studying it. And she just looked at me and said, no, we're not selling it. Mm-hmm. I said, well, we'll figure something out. And that's where the idea come through my head. Well, let me go into their live and see if we can get a suggestion. But we thank y'all. Once again, we'll continue to thank y'all until the good Lord calls us on out of here.
Y'all will be tired of it long before we're done thanking y'all for that, I promise.
Y'all, we do not forget about that. That's not something that just happened to us and some people came together and we moved on to something else. It is something that we carry with us every time we go out there and we think about y'all.
Every single time.
So
every single time I put that suit on, I thank God for the generosity of this little beekeeping community. Every time. Look, hang on. DC, I found the verse. It's Proverbs 16:9. It says, a man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps. I was like, yep. So, Hannah, just keep on making your plans, and God's going to make his plans come true instead of yours. But we can have fun trying. Just a little, honey.
Yeah. Thank y'all again.
Yeah.
In love in Christ, we appreciate that very, very much.
Very much.
And
look, on that, you want to do the prayer list?
We'll do it.
Before you get going some more?
I've been rambling 30 minutes already. And Ricky, we got your email too, brother.
I was going to.
Awesome.
Yes.
You're awesome. We'll just leave it like that.
Absolutely cannot wait. I was jumping around like a 2-year-old when I saw that.
Go ahead with your prayer list.
Okay. Mr. Mark Miller, Hillbilly Earl, Ed and his wife, Miss Chris, Dirt Rooster's dad, Mr. Pat,
Sorry, y'all. I hit the cord and knocked everybody sideways. I'm sorry.
The Sun Bunny, Miss Deb. Bob, this is serious.
I'm trying.
I know. I'm trying.
I did not need to myself. Go ahead.
Buttons. Bob's friend Jason Cooper, Grammy Lisa, her son, and 2 of her granddaughters. And Lisa, I know you were in here. If you don't mind, how's your baby with the seizures doing? Bob and his family, Mr. Donnie, Michael Tangway's wife, Miss Cindy, Miss Carla Green, all the Gandys, Mr. Larry, Miss Sherry, and Mr. Larry's mama, DC's parents, and especially his mama, James Knowles' family. No, I have one.
I gave that to the guy.
Okay. Yeah, James Knowles' family, Lee's sister, Nikki King, Donnie Fixner's wife, Miss LaFay, David Hoskins' little baby granddaughter, Emma, the Prince family, Flip from Honeystone Farm, his daughter Samantha. And he had good news last week, right?
I think so. He said the surgery went good.
Good.
Or they was fixing to do it.
Getting ready to do
Getting ready to do it. Something along those lines.
Baby Luca that Mr. Dan Weaver put on here. Minnesota Mike. Canada Brad. Ian from Ian's Wonderful World. All the tornado victims' families. The Brown and Daughters Beekeepers in Israel. Ham's Garden added her friend Mindy. And then Philip added last week his mentee's best friend, Deanna Wheeler, and then his Aunt Linda and his cousin Lorinda. His aunt they put her in hospice care, and he said his cousin was diagnosed with breast cancer. And then Michael Tangway's sister, she lost her husband not long ago. And then Sarah from Sarah's Happy Hives emailed us and asked us to put her daughter Crystal on here. And the Jennifer King family.
Mr. Ed's last video, Jeff Orchoff, had mentioned closer to the end of his video that Miss Jennifer King, from what I gather, she departed not too long ago, and apparently she was pretty well known in Louisiana in the beekeeping world and done a lot of good things.
Legislation.
Yeah, legislation, and Mr. Ed said, she helped them out there to Abby after one of the floods, and she was just a true blessing to the beekeeping world. Yeah. You see Grammys?
I just saw Russell said add as well.
Brenda. We sure got her added there, Russell. Grammy says the seizures have improved, but she goes to Birmingham Wednesday so they can do an MRI and they have to sedate her. Earl, bro, I think we got you.
Hey, Earl.
About
You're right at the top. Number 2.
Number 2 on the list. Yes, sir. We always keep you on here, bro.
Yeah.
Jennifer Brown. I'm sorry, y'all. Jennifer Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right, Joseph? The lady I'm talking about over there, Mr. Ed was talking about. Where'd I get King from?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no telling. Yeah, Miss Brenda. And Earl was saying keep him in the prayers as well.
Yeah, you're definitely on there, Earl. Lisa, I will pray for them big time. We watched one of our little nephews. He just turned 12 in September, but he's on the pretty severe end of the autism spectrum, and he has really bad epilepsy. Like, he's had the magnet implants and the whole 9 yards, but he's been going to Birmingham for a little while. They got some amazing doctors up there, like unbelievable, which I'm sure y'all know, but we will definitely be praying for that little baby.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean. In the South, all of them's little babies. I know she's not an infant by any means. That young lady, I should say.
But, if y'all, once again, if you have a request, shoot us an email. If you just want to do, hey, let us. This is just a special prayer request. I don't want to say a name, anything like that. We'll put you on there as an unspoken, or we need to pray for them as well, because I know there's a bunch of people that have unspoken requests.
Oh, is she going to be at the hospital on her birthday?
Oh, that's a bummer.
Her 7th birthday.
Poor baby. Well, maybe y'all take her for a little bite of ice cream or something afterwards.
Y'all can do something, make it fun.
Get a little cake.
Absolutely. There's our Brad.
Canadian Brad in here. How y'all up there?
Recovering good.
Yes, sir. How's that eye doing?
Been praying for all of y'all on the road. I know I've been seeing everybody in the chat chit-chatting about everybody's road trip coming up.
Ooh, everybody get ready.
They are. Everybody.
That's awesome. We look forward to the lives.
Yes. I can't wait to see the video. We were really hoping we'd be able to go, but it just didn't work out. But cannot wait to see some of the videos that I know are going to happen.
Oh, everybody's just excited. I would be too, headed up there, because, just to meet everybody and hang out.
Ricky said, let the fun begin.
Yes, sir. Speaking on some of that, Philip in here yet?
I haven't seen Philip.
All right. Well,
hi, Ed. I didn't see you sleeping.
As y'all know, and I just now remembered it. I had a pepper moment, y'all. All right.
A pepper moment?
Yeah. If Blaine was in here, he knows.
I know.
Okay. But last week, the train derailed off the track, like y'all know, and I couldn't remember what I was going to say. And I just lost it again.
Are you serious? Just. You got a basket in your hand.
Let me talk about the
basket.
What is it?
I don't know. You didn't tell me.
This is good. Hey, I'm pushing buttons in my brain.
You hit the delete button.
All right, before I forget, here it is.
Oh, yeah.
We've won one time on Bob and Lee's. We got the.
He said there was a train.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
it's way back there. Hannah won the Beekeeping Bible.
Hannah won.
Well, gun lines. We did. What was it? Lee doing his 1,000 sub giveaway? I think 500. Anyway, one.
Or was it him and Bob's year anniversary?
May have been a year anniversary.
Ours was a 500 giveaway.
They did theirs was okay. Well, we won the draw, and the other week during Philip's deal, we won the drawing for the second place deal, I guess he had. But we got it in the other day, brother. And he had some nice plastic and all that, kind of, what that just was.
Shrink wrap.
Yeah, shrink wrap. Anyway, that's hard to do. Anyway, there we go. He sent us his honey. And I don't know if you can get the light on it enough. I think that is his spring honey there.
Yeah.
Got a pretty good looking jar. Sticker on there. Then that was his fall bunch. It's sent over here to us.
That stuff is so good, y'all. Oh my gosh, that's some good honey.
It's kind of funny how that Texas honey, wherever he's at down there, because the one he sent for the official honey tasting, it had, as we described, like a mint flavor to it. Then these here kind of had I wouldn't say they just had a different taste to them. It wasn't like the typical honeys that we try, and you kind of know where the flavor's going to go. I guess the best way to explain it. But it's something about them honeys out there that he's sending to them that has got,
They're unique.
yes, there's a unique flavor
Very
about them,
unique.
which is good. They taste good.
Mm-hmm.
So we appreciate you sending
I
that.
fully understand why his customers wait for that fall honey to come in at the market.
So the train that run off the track that I left back there,
Mm.
I'm gonna tell y'all the secret, and it's kind of funny. And y'all know why. Just say she has no idea about this yet. So I'm gonna tell y'all the secret how we win in them things. Go to Kodiak Farm Bees and get you a Let Your Love Flow shirt. And during the lives, wear your Let Your Love Flow shirt. And that's how we won every single time. I've had that Let Your Love Flow shirt on each time we won.
Yeah,
And you got it on tonight.
I do have it on the line.
Mm-hmm. And we didn't set that up either. That's not a, how would you put
No.
that?
That's a happy coincidence.
Coincidence.
Or coinky dink, as my papa used to say.
That's it.
Lee popped in for a second. He's with his family.
No,
So he was just stopping for a moment.
well, DC, send her on, brother, and we'll sure put them with the rest of them. Try them out at the same time too. Everybody that has sent us something, oh yeah, we've tried it.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on a biscuit. She made.
There's said, hey, Hannah, I'm loving
Huh?
Philip said, hey, Hannah, I'm loving boy.
What you say there, Philip? We're just yakking about your highs for heroes.
The
Deal with
gift
one.
box she sent.
And two, for the ones of y'all going to Nobby, they're going to be out there. Brian from Flower Street, Philip RTXBs, Carl's 2B Brats.
Well, no, I don't think he was going, but he
He's
was
sending.
putting one together or something.
And there's somebody else, I think, is kind of getting in on it, but they're doing a raffle to give away some baskets as well there to try and raise more money for the Hives for Heroes. And y'all, I know we're not going to be there, but we're going to send you some cash, Philip, or whatever to put into the pot.
A donation.
A donation. But it would be awesome if we could meet or exceed $1,000. I know this is Philip's gig, and donate.
But
If
everybody together.
Yes.
Which, I mean, he got close to that.
Well, almost
Just with the Christmas one he did.
right at 700 or 700, I think it was.
I think that was a
Everybody come together. So it would be awesome. I'm anxious to hear the numbers of how that's going to turn out.
Awesome. Russell Pittman said he's got a basket of spring honey wrapped up for where asking Philip where to drop it off.
Awesome, y'all.
It's starting.
Man, they may have to set up a whole table by itself.
Just
Everybody
for
coming
that.
together, which that's a wonderful
That
thing.
would be so cool to see, though.
So for the ones of y'all going down there, y'all be sure to stop by the Hive for Heroes and get you a raffle ticket there and get your name in the pot for one of those fine giveaways they got going on.
Yes. No matter what you get in the baskets, it's going to be awesome, y'all.
We're going to open up the chat and y'all want to come on in.
Considering you've been going for an hour.
Is it been an hour?
Oh, yeah. $703.
703. All right.
That's what he just said.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Ed said he was a few jars from being sold out of honey this year, which is awesome, Ed. That's really, really good. But Mr. Mark told him, swing by, Ed, I can fix you up. And he said, well, it's not that close to the swing, Mark. I'm down in Alabama.
Right on by, bro.
Yeah.
That's just how it is down here, though. You know? Right on by.
That's it.
Gates open. And for friends, Nobody knocks on the front door down here. Strangers,
You just walk in the back door down
Yeah.
here. Literally.
somebody comes to the front door of your house, you know they
You
ain't
don't
from
know
around
them.
here.
Mm-mm.
But
Well, I guess it's up to our front door faces the back of our property.
well we did that on purpose so we wouldn't have to stare at no
Mhm.
highway. But like I said, I know everybody jammed up excited about the conference, and then I guess coming out of it, for some of us, it won't be too long before it'd be
Kicking off.
time to start preparing to make sure the frames are waxed up good and go rummaging through.
Getting everything lined up.
And we pretty well set.
Mm-hmm.
All we got to do for the most part is just now
Get bees into boxes.
get them in boxes.
That's our big plan for 2024. Get bees in the boxes.
Well, we did have a pretty cool encounter the other day. Headed out, we run into a gentleman that works for a big pest control company, world or nationwide pest control company. And as he was coming in the door, I asked him, I said, "Man, I said, y'all fool with honeybees, or how y'all do that?" We got into conversation. Long story short, he gave us a phone number to the boss man over the Mobile store down here, and he said they only have one beekeeper that comes out and helps them do removals and things of that nature. And the way the woman talked said the man is rarely able to get out and actually take care of whatever calls that they call him for. So they seemed to be pretty excited that Hannah had called and told her who we were and this and that. So they put us on the list for any swarms, removals, anything like that. So hopefully, with that being in tune as well, we'll be able to kind of pick up some freebies with the swarms and stuff this year.
Yeah, DC, maybe 3 months, and we'll be like full swing. Usually, I mean, like we did our first split, like you said, Valentine's Day this year. That's how warm it is. I mean, every year's a little bit different, but no later than the end of March, it's going to be getting pretty warm, and spring pretty well kicking off down here.
We'll start settling it into the 80s, the low 80s. Start settling in there pretty good. Then
by May, it's
hot.
It's like nasty summertime. Hey, we keep swarm traps out pretty much year round down here.
Yeah, we went and checked on the one out in the
Southeastern. Thank you very much. Southeastern.
God love you. Thank y'all. Well, let me get down there and push that button.
Push the right button.
Push the right button. Thank y'all so very much. We appreciate that.
We do appreciate that very much.
And the ones of you becoming members, we thank y'all as well. And Lee, how'd he put it? Jasper's
Charger Cord Fund.
Yeah, Jasper's Charger Cord Fund. That money has went to good use. We have a cord coming now, so thank you much for that donation. And Jasper's just not even studying it this evening, but hopefully we'll kind of be back on the bee journal a little bit after the first of the year as well. So, along with our guests, I'm excited about them.
We're getting really excited. I think I'm most excited about the first one that's coming on. What the topic? The first one's gonna do.
We don't want to give you away yet, neither one of you. but we believe it'll be an excellent way to start off the year with.
That's it.
Uh,
On the right foot.
yeah, we'll leave it at that. On the right foot,
Mhm.
and we'll just kind of leave that at that. Then the next gentleman, for some of y'all, I'll give a little bit of a piece away on him. And it surprised us talking to him at how many colonies he has and how in depth
Yeah.
he went into genetics with this one breed of honeybee. And
Yeah, be like Earl.
we got a little
We
thank you
appreciate
too, Earl.
that.
So we do, Bo. Wait a minute. Oh, no.
Oh my
The things are,
gosh. Well,
it's going
Miss
fast.
Catherine put one in too.
Well, thank y'all very much.
I appreciate it.
There we go.
With the buttons.
I got it. Well, I'm make sure I don't smash the wrong one with these folks. God love y'all. Thank y'all very much for that.
Thank y'all.
Train didn't come off the track.
She
Where was I going?
derailed again. You was gonna give away too many hints anyway. It's a good reason.
That's it.
Good
Yes.
thing you forgot.
Okay. Russian bees, and I'll leave it at that.
That's gonna be the topic.
That'll be the topic, and it's going.
Quit while you're
I will.
hitting buttons.
Okay.
You're gonna spit it all out. You're so excited about it.
Well, the one that we want to start with.
The trailer, the teaser.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
That's it. I'll shut my mouth. Good turn.
Oh no, I didn't mean that. I just meant change
She
the
said,
subject. You're gonna spit it out. Hey, Russ said check with city water people. Bees go in meters.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a good idea.
I'm sure do that.
Promise you that.
There you go. Yep. Because we used to know and work with a lot of the water and gas folks. It's like it's combined in our community, the water company and the natural gas, whatever. But we used to work with a lot of those folks on the ambulance and fire department. Different people would hit a gas line and they would have to come out and shut it off, or a fire hydrant and those type things. So that's a good idea. Appreciate that. We'll check with them too. Just excited about the new year.
Yeah. DC, didn't you say it was cool and kind of misty, rainy today? That's probably why they got fussy with you. Fishing out some dead ones. Stuck a stick in a big That tends to happen, DC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Had him a moment of Dennis the Menace going on there.
I haven't watched that movie in a long time.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
They get their attention, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Kind of like my buddy, old Lance down the road. He, y'all, there was a hot hive over amongst his last year. And they would tear our tails up just getting even close to
That's
them.
the ones he stuck in the freezer. Y'all hear us talk about on videos from time to time. Those mean bees.
I tried telling him, and you just have to know, Lance, he's a wonderful person, man. He takes care of his family. He's stable. He's been blessed to be able to get, just about 100 acres for him and his family to sit on. I mean, the man's got it going on. But in the beekeeping end of it, he likes having the bees there, and the bees do well over at his property. That was the ones we done not long ago, showing y'all that we ain't been in them in, I think it was 8 or 9 months, literally, had not been in them.
And everything.
Yeah, no beetles, no problems. The boxes were packed.
Yeah, they were.
But I was trying to explain to Lance last year, so look, we'll just cull that queen, and we'll get a queen from one of your sweeter bunches here, and kind of knock that madness out of them a little bit. Well, in his mind, he was thinking, cull the queen means cull the whole colony, everybody, brood, bees.
He literally
queen.
just picked up the whole hive, wrapped it in a garbage bag, and stuck it in the freezer.
Yeah, in his chest
I
freezer.
couldn't believe it.
Called me next morning. He said, Timmy, you ain't gonna believe this, but I got them bees in that freezer and they're all dead.
He said it just like that.
I said, you put the whole thing in the freezer? Babies and all? He said, yeah, you talking about we need to kill them. I said, man.
No.
I said, all we had to do was just kill the queen. We didn't have to kill all the babies and everything. He said, well, they're all dead. All right. So,
Moving on.
moving on.
Yeah. He got lots of bees, though.
Yeah, they are doing well.
Flourishing over there.
You kind of got a good idea why, too, because we went to the feed store, and the feed store, you can see the back of his property, but there's a 100-acre field between them, or that portion right there. But I'm going to call them, it just looks like a wild turnip, which is what it may be. I'm not sure, but that whole cattle field out through there is just yellow and green with this, I guess, wild turnip. For some of y'all may know what I'm talking about, but it's just, it looks like turnips putting off a yellow flower. And y'all, they just, I guess they getting all over that and getting whatever they pollen they can out of it, but there's fields and fields of it.
He said, well, that fixed that problem.
It should, yes, sir, it did. Ended every bit of it. But we got them. We got another bunch over there. Ended up splitting and filling in that spot. And this year, it was the second to last one in the video of they haven't been inspected in 8 months. I think something along those lines. You can see it on the screen if you want to look at it. But
Ed, we watched your video, and your girls are killing it out there, man. My jaw fell open when I seen that box of bees.
I told her, I said, look,
Like,
look
oh
at
my
him.
gosh, man.
He pulled that medium off that thing, and they just, as he got walking down them frames, they just started boiling off that side there. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, he got a box of bees right there. So if y'all ain't seen Ed's video on that.
Oh, when springtime hits, you're going to be flinging boxes like crazy off of that hive.
Oh Lord, yeah.
It was unreal.
I mean, she was packed full of brood, packed full of bees.
Mm-hmm. He's in good shape to start the new year.
Yes, he is. And once again, brother, it's a blessing to see yourself. You reached your goal, and you went beyond your goal, I believe, this year. And you set yourself another goal, I believe, coming into this one. And absolutely, brother, once again, you'll make it. And the same with DC, y'all. We're wrapping up the end of the year, so kind of just draw some of this in. Y'all seen where DC was last year. He come into the season with no bees.
Mm-hmm.
And he went out there. He worked his tail off, getting the yard fixed up, getting the stands ready, getting the, that cover down on the ground. A lot
of time observing and learning from what was going wrong in his bee yard. That's what, I guess, impressed me so much about DC's year this year is all the things you picked up on and the changes you made that's gotten you the results of where you're at now.
Thank you, Russell.
Oh,
God love you too, man. Y'all, we so appreciate all that.
Yeah, DC, that's true. That is a box of bees.
Oh yeah, too. If y'all ain't sub to DC or Son of One, y'all go sub to them and check them out. But Ed's box, y'all,
It
that's
was a
pretty good.
mesmerizing sight for a beekeeper.
Ed, is that the Holly Hive? The one you was working in that video?
Something.
Oh,
I
the heart's in the way.
Yeah, stupid chat hearts in the way.
Brad said my apiary went from disaster in May to a record crop in August.
Praise the Lord.
Absolutely.
That's awesome, Brad.
I'm gonna tell you something about that dude too. This y'all keep on because this helps me keep in conversation. But some of the first videos of watching Brad last year, I think, just kind of being introduced to his channel through the chats. He was showing pictures. I don't know, it was a year or two ago, I reckon. But of him stacking them boxes, I'm telling you, it looked like over 6 feet high. He was stacking them boxes out there in that one yard on every single colony out there. And I thought to myself, that's pretty impressive in itself, having that many boxes stacked up out there and the bees actually filling those boxes. But at the same time, I thought to myself, there ain't no way we can stack boxes that high around here. Because the first thunderstorm come rolling through, 60-mile-an-hour wind, will topple them all over. But that was pretty cool too, seeing old Brad's set up, and seems like you done good on your nukes this year too. Watching your videos earlier in the season, you had them old, I say them old wire wheels, what it looked like, or out there in your field and stacked up.
The pencil tuck-ins around me are already setting off the midnight fireworks. What's a pencil tuck-in?
It's a mix. Pennsylvania and Kentucky.
That's a long ways apart.
Well, they got 10,
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
They setting them off out here too, Mr. Dan. I just heard the first ones.
I mean, it'd be fireworks and shotguns. The shotguns will go off at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much
Oh
the fireworks.
my gosh, over 100 nukes produced this year, Brad said.
Oh, he's done it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's wild.
And I guess that's a conversation we can kind of get on a little bit. Me and her chit-chatting the other day at work. Where do we want to take ourselves in this? Do we just kind of want to hang out and keep doing what we're doing at a lower level? And we talked through that a minute. Then we kind of talked into, could we take this and actually run with it and turn this into something to where we could potentially make a living on doing things, potentially? We kind of, I don't want to say we're stuck in that rut, but we was just kind of juggling that back and forth of, we pretty well know where we need to be on things for the most part, and we're absolutely still learning. And picking up on little bits, and a lot of it's coming from these lives and in these chats during the lives.
Mm-hmm.
Taking those small little bits and just, like everybody else, creating your own style, but with what works. And I think we're kind of at the comfort level of, we can, if we talked about it a little more and really set our minds to it, that we could probably most likely take it to another level. Advance a little bit more as far as, let's really try to make something with it, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
What's your opinion there?
I'm reading comments.
She had no
Well,
comment.
Brad said, in my opinion, a living is tough. A hobby or sideline that makes a bit of pocket money isn't hard to do. That's what DC pretty much said. A subsidy is much easier than making a living. So just doing it as extra money is much easier than making a living.
You're right. Because you okay. I'm with y'all. Cause you're it's not that push
Mm-hmm.
like it
I mean,
is.
I think ours would be. I mean, we live in such a small town. Like we were talking, we would have to branch out. We couldn't just sell honey in our town where we live. I mean, we would have to.
Get it out.
Yeah.
Really get it out.
Like we.
Well,
Yeah, that's true, DC. I mean, I don't know. After the lessons I've learned this year is doesn't really matter what I set in stone as my plan in my head. It's probably not going to happen how I want it. So I'm just going to go with the attitude of the Lord's going to lead me where He wants me. So I'm just going to kind of go with the flow, and I'll accept and be grateful for any kind of increase He wants to send to our bee yard. And if it's something we're supposed to do, then I mean, we'll be led to do it. As far as switching businesses and trying to make a living at it.
well, you just made a good point on it too. What it all just boils down to the point, and even just what we had in church today was the Lord's will, and then from there, because ain't none of it gonna happen. I reckon without the Lord's will, none of it. Just being go out there and just do a few colonies, or going out there doing 100 colonies.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not the will in our life, then yeah, absolutely, it's not gonna happen. But
y'all know me. I love the bees. I mean, I'm just gonna keep doing the bees.
See where it takes us.
We'll end up where we're supposed to be, no matter what my plan is. Yes, Brad, thy will be done.
Let's see. All right, Joseph, y'all take care, brother. Be safe tonight if y'all out and about.
Well, he's gonna be hitting the road too in the next few days, headed to the conference.
Oh, what, Lee's headed out Tuesday?
Mm-hmm. I think Joe said he was leaving Wednesday or something.
I know a lot of y'all gonna try to get up there a little bit earlier, and
yeah, and I mean everybody's going just about. I think us and DC and Earl is the only ones in the chat that ain't going. Mr. Dan might not be going.
there was a couple other I seen, and I think it was Charlie's live the other night that made mention they weren't going to be able to make it as well. But it's one of them. Once again, Lord willing, we'll definitely try. If the plans work out, go next year, wherever it may be, and would love to meet everybody.
Well, I'm gonna look into it. Lisa keeps talking about there's a conference in Alabama in February and September. Yeah.
I mean, we'll go, and I would love to go. I just put it like that.
Moving on.
I had a rub.
Mr. Dan said he's going to a farm show next week.
I'd love to go.
He's not going to the conference. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'd love to go check out the Alabama conference.
See, that's it, DC. That's what we were talking about. We would have to, branch out like Bob and Lee and Brian and so many other ones of y'all that do this as more than a hobby kind of thing. And Philip and Blaine. I mean, all of them that have any kind of real income off their bees. It seems like they've branched out into a lot more than just honey. Whether it's the lip balms, lotion bars, soaps, the candles, all the different products people make, the tinctures and comb honey and everything else. Just we would have to branch out a good bit. Like that would just be something we'd really have to take into account if we get to the point where we want to really turn it into a business. Is it's going to be a whole lot of like mailing and shipping and online operation to keep us afloat just because of our location. But
we ain't got.
I'm just not huge on. I mean, like I said, the Lord made just put it in our lap. Where hey, this is what y'all gonna do. But I don't know. I'm kind of, I guess, what is it, reserved, maybe, would be a good word, about doing it as a living. Because I love the bees so much. Like, I don't want to turn them into a job kind of thing. Like, I know there is a whole lot more than just working bees that, people have built businesses around, but I just don't want the bees to turn into just a job for me, because I mean, y'all see me on the videos. I just love doing the bees.
Well, and to what Earl's saying here, that's what kind of, I guess, got us migrated over a little bit on, okay, let's just think about this, the ifs.
Mm-hmm.
And the fella we was doing some work for a couple weeks back had no idea the man was a beekeeper. The only thing I knew about the man was, according to his wife, he was cantankerous and he wants things done a certain way. And I just said, yes, ma'am. And we kind of went from there. Well, long story short, we was there.
He's moving me. I'm trying to steady myself. Not stopping.
Long story short, the gentleman come out and we started discussing what he was wanting us to do around his house, so on and so forth. And Hannah just so happened to glance at the back of his pickup truck, and there was a sign in the back of his truck that said local honey. And she asked him something along the lines, you sell honey or have honey? And he said, oh yeah, I'm a beekeeper. And it went from there. Because I think at his one yard, the man's 80, 83.
Somewhere in there.
And he'd been keeping bees since he was a young fella. Young fella. And at the one yard, he said, well, I got 200 colonies out there on that, and I've got so many others out here on the other side of town. And we picked his brain on different stuff. Then it went into a little bit of business. And he said, well, at one point, I owned a bakery. And he said the bakery done well for X amount of years. I sold my own honey in my bakery, and I used my own honey and product in the bakery. He said, so I didn't have that expense of, paying for that on top of everything else in the bakery world. And he said, I'll just put it to you like this. He said, I've done well enough where I sold the bakery and I'm okay. Mm-hmm. And I can still keep my bees. And I sell honey, time to time. But time to time, it was every day that man was coming out with, I don't know, I couldn't tell you, probably 25 pounds at the minimum every single day.
Why don't you tell us that they use like their norm on a good year was something like 500 to 600 barrels of honey?
It was way on up there. Yes, ma'am. A lot.
It was like unbelievable amount of honey.
He said between what he's got, then he's got a feller. He said, well, he calls himself a partner, but he ain't really a partner. But he's got some bees over there on the south end of the town. And he said, whenever we pull from there, we just pull from there and pull from everybody else and have it loaded up. And I got a place where I put all my stuff, but I have enough here at home to where I can do my bottling for, my friends and family and folks there at church and so on and so forth. But the only thing that fella wouldn't show me was his setup in there. Now, he wasn't going to show off how he done his bottling and all that kind of good stuff. I don't know why he was kind of so secretive on that. I don't think there's any special secrets in the bottling and all that.
Just
But
in his face.
well, you're right about that too. I don't want nobody in here. But we had a good conversation with him, and that's where it kind of led us into, well, let's just run this by each other and see about it more or less. But I know everybody.
And then back and forth a little bit, but he just said if it's about God, he'll give you the bees.
Yes, sir, he will.
Yeah.
But we all started at one point with one colony of bees.
Some
And
people started with two. The one wouldn't get wrong.
did we get? No, we just got the one.
We did.
Then
It wasn't long before we got another one, but we did only buy one to start with.
and it's just kind of went. It's like y'all know how it is. You get one, then you got to get another one, and it's just turned into that for us. But
yeah,
Lord willing, we will set or be able to achieve our goal this year, and our goal is 25. We think we can pretty well handle that between everyday life and work. So once we get there and just kind of feel that out, see what we'll be able to actually keep up and do, and all that, and we'll really know whenever it comes time. If we got 25 colonies out there and we go to harvesting honey, you know what, y'all? I probably will have to end up buying an electric extractor.
He's gonna break down and buy that before he buys the dishwasher.
You had to bring that up, didn't you? One more time before the year.
Gotta get them last little heads dropped before the new year.
Yep. And old Bob.
Better get to start with a fresh slate.
Yeah, start it all over.
That's it. You got a whole year.
Well, old Bob don't help out talking about, I found you this kind of dishwasher on the internet.
Well, I'm not going to harp on that because Grim and Lisa does make a really good point.
What's this?
90% of the dishes I use wouldn't fit in it. Pots and pans and lids and casserole dishes and all that won't fit in them.
See? What's that dude say on that movie?
Which movie?
We used to watch it quite a bit.
Russell. He said an extractor makes money, a dishwasher costs money.
Bingo. Yes, sir. There we go.
Yeah.
I got some of y'all on my side. Appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen.
I don't think there's ladies on your side.
Granny kind of helped.
He kind of helped. She just took away one option for you. Now your only option is a real dishwasher. Bummer. I just busted your bubble.
You did. Well, we'll see.
Use those junior beekeepers to turn that hand crank extractor.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Get that nephew.
See, the turning it's not the hard part. The hard part is holding it still while you turn it.
Yeah.
That's where the difficulty lies in those hand cranks.
Yeah.
Hand wash dishes are always clean. Thanks, Mr. Dan.
Yes, sir. Excellent point. Excellent
Mm.
point. You can't get that dishwasher can't clean like what you can feel with your hands. You go, oh, let me get that real quick. You know, that way I know my dish is clean. When I put it up, you don't have all them spots and you got to re-rinse. Run the water heater to get the hot water. I mean, you're just stacking up.
He has made a list in his head of justification for not putting in a dishwasher. Yeah, Tracy, we ain't gonna make it till midnight either, man. Happy New Year.
I was picking at her. I said, well, we hold the record for the longest beekeeping live chat. I said, do you want to just crush that record on New Year's night?
That's
She's
when I
like,
made another cup of coffee.
I don't think so. It's like,
I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna be awake at midnight.
So, yeah, I don't know if we can make it 6 hours and 45 minutes instead of 6 hours and 44, whatever it is.
DC said it's not even 7 yet. See, it's 8:30 here, so it's getting on towards my bed.
Oh, yeah. Well, the rednecks are scurrying tonight.
Yeah, that highway ain't gonna shut down till 3 in the morning.
Neither will the fire alarms. Which I'm liable to be out there with mine if I make it. Oh, boom, America! I'm going to bed.
Yeah,
I contributed.
it's one shot.
Mm-hmm.
They was talking about, somebody said they don't much do the fireworks up in the north. And I was thinking, Lord, they don't even need a reason to shoot fireworks down here.
Oh no, they make their own around here. But they do. They have some pretty good shows in town and stuff. Mobile Bay down at the battleship, they usually have a big fireworks show down there, which is pretty cool. Watching it in the background of the battleship there. Some of y'all, if you come across I-10 headed to Florida or Mississippi, going over Mobile Bay, you know where we're talking about, the big old battleship right there in Mobile Bay. But it is kind of pretty background watching them down there. But we're not crowd people really either. We like, I don't know, we just don't like big crowds. But I guess we'd have to show enough get used to that if we go to big conference. But that'd be cool. Though. These are people we pretty well.
We have things in common with. We can conversate with.
Yeah, we've at least for the most part talked to you in a chat on the telephone, or you know, some of you we've actually met.
And honeybees.
There we go. It ain't just a bunch of folks carrying on.
I mean, but just to go out, like go downtown for the night or something. No. Big fireworks are getting replaced with lighted drones.
Do what? That just takes all the fun out of it. I mean, there's nothing better than sitting there watching that big old firework make that flash, and all of a sudden you feel the percussion rush through your chest as it explodes. Kind of like that cannon we got at the gun line. Boom! That's an awesome feeling. I got to see, well, while we just yakking in the fire department in my early years in the fire department.
Mr. Dan says you ain't gonna get mugged at a bee show.
No, you're not.
It's true.
Give me all your honey.
Yeah. But 90% of the people at these honey shows would just give you their honey if you were that desperate for some. That's just the kind of people honeybees bring out.
Yeah, you definitely wouldn't have to worry about nothing, that's for sure. The good time, fellowship, the whole everything. What did he say? They did the biggest Christmas tree in history with drones.
Really?
I mean,
are they as good as fireworks? Have y'all seen a drone light show?
We've never seen one.
Have. That's what I'm asking people that are talking about them.
I guess, I mean,
it just seems like it would take all the
excitement.
I don't know what you call it. Oh, I grew up on fireworks, not drones,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
I look for the
Change.
boom. You know what
I'm
I
not
mean,
good
people?
with change.
I'm
Yeah.
one of them that, let's blow it up if we can and not get in trouble.
Oh, but
But
yeah, I mean, that's just, I guess, part of it. It said I had eyes with drones.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Yeah.
DC said some of them are pretty cool, but yes, they are different. I'm just not. I'm not really down with this whole new technology age.
America, Mr. Dan.
I'm not old, but I'm very old fashioned on a lot of things. And I'm bucking technology.
What is that younger buck told us not long ago? Man, you just an old soul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that as a compliment. I'm not handling it well.
I have to go check them out, DC. See
Yeah.
what they all about. But I guess it can be pretty cool. I guess if they set it up right. If you
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be cool. I mean, along the lines of like the choreographed Christmas lights to music, that kind of show, I guess. I just don't, I don't know. Like he said, just different. Only tech that comes into the big yard is the camera.
yeah. Well, let's see what else. Oh, well, how much time we got left?
30 minutes.
We got 30 minutes. Y'all want to do it? Hold on, let me just find this one.
Y'all, our charger cord's coming in like 2 days. So next week we can be back on the. No. Next week we're hoping to have a guest, I think.
Yes, hopefully, hope to have our first guest of 2024.
But anyway, next time we do a live and we don't have a guest, we'll be able to get back in the bee journal. Now, Mr. Dan, he's got a few things out of the Beekeeper's Bible tonight because we still don't have the power cord for the computer.
There was some I just kind of grazed through here, if you will, on some stuff in once again, the Beekeeper's Bible. Wait a minute, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
But the introduction, because there was one I wanted to tell y'all too. Who was it? Somebody help me out here. Did Shakespeare say to be or not to be? Or who was that dude that said that?
One of them old. I mean, I've heard people say that 100,000 times, but I couldn't tell you who originally said that.
So if anybody knows, pop it in there for me real quick. So whenever we get to this part, if it's Shakespeare, then it'll kind of go with
Macbeth, Mr. Dan said.
Who?
Macbeth.
Macbeth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it wasn't Shakespeare.
Yeah.
We'll just say they're cousins, and it comes from him. How about that?
I doubt that very seriously. You was wrong. Moving on.
Moving on.
You should be used to that by now.
All right. It's got the mythological symbolism and like the introduction of it. It goes through the history.
Oh, no, you were right.
What?
Shakespeare wrote Macbeth.
So that's not something.
In the Macbeth play, apparently.
Okay. I'm with you now, I think. That was Shakespeare's
DC
play.
called that Macbeth is the story, isn't it? Yeah. Shakespeare wrote that play.
Okay. All right.
See, we're not.
We'll get it, y'all.
We're not there.
Yeah. But we'll get it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. I'm gonna run us through a little bit of this, the honeybee in myth and symbol, and it's pretty much the introduction to the Beekeeper's Bible. And y'all, if you ain't got one of these, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of
Interesting
stuff.
little topics in there.
Just about everything for the most part. Let me go to the content.
They said we're bee smart. It just takes 4 of us to do that.
So we go. But we'll get it. The contents. Bees and beekeeping history, understanding the honeybee, practical beekeeping, honey and other bee products, recipe and home crafts, then the index. But it's like there's a whole bunch in between each content.
There's a whole bunch in each section.
In each section of the content. Yes, because it just gets a bunch of pages. So let me carry on. I'll start at the beginning. Honeybee and the myth and symbol. Throughout history, both bees and the honey they magically produce, have fortune in myth and philosophy. The flowing sweetness of honey has since ancient times been associated with great eloquence. We went through that a while ago. I'm not going to drag them through the eloquence. While features of the bee society and behavior have long been identified with their own, a dominant female is still a queen bee in common practice. And when we work hard, we are as busy as a bee or appear as a hive of industry. Such symbolism has its roots in the ancient culture of the world. Bees and mythology. Our relationship with the honeybee goes back thousands of years to the dawn of human history. Prehistoric spiritual rock art executed by the San, S-A-N, which they're saying is like a bushman of South Africa, whose descendants still live in Kalahari. I probably said that wrong. Kalahari.
Yeah.
Abounds with images of bees and their nests, suggesting that the bees had a special importance in the Stone Age. Indeed, the bee is part of the creation myth of the San, which is the bushman of South Africa. An exhausted bee, having carried a mantis across a river, left the mantis on a floating flower before the bee died. However, it planted a seed in the mantis's body. The seed became the first human. I'm glad this is mythology. Where there is a gap in agriculture, say that, I can't spit it out. Agriculture. Archaeology, yeah. Knowledge from the Stone Age to the first beekeepers of ancient Egypt. We can see from the mythology of ancient civilizations how bees held a sacred significance and mythological power, often appearing as sacred insects that acted as a bridge between the natural world and the underworld. Images of bees appear on, check this out, this is where I'm trying to go.
He said that was a good facial reaction.
Thanks, sir. Where are we at?
Where you was trying to go.
Okay. All right, the bees appearing as the sacred insects that acted as a bridge between the natural world and the underworld. Images of bees appear on some tombs, while others, specifically
Mycenaean tombs.
those tombs. Check this out. Say it. Say the word. Mycenaean.
Mycenaean.
Okay. The Mycenaean tombs, which I looked this up to see what in the world they was talking about. Says they were shaped as beehives. So y'all do your Google search on the Mycenaean tombs, Mycenaean tombs. But it's pretty cool. Back in them days, they made it. It looks more like a skeet, is what it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, that's the way they buried their dead back then. And it looked like an old beehive. But according to them, the bee symbolizes vital principles and embody the soul. According to ancient Greeks, the bee was sometimes identified with Demeter, the goddess of earth and crops, who represented the soul sent to hell.
Yeah, some of them got pretty weird.
Okay. The bee also symbolizes the soul that flies away from the body in the Siberian, Central Asian, and South African traditions.
Now, once again, this is just myth.
Mythology. But
Nothing real.
see if I can, that's the cave art, I guess. If I can get that thing up there, show y'all. You can see it. But basically, a cave art of some dude hanging off the side of the cliff, gathering that honey up, like we see on some of them folks across the pond over there, dangling off them mountains, cutting. Man, they cut big old. Y'all seen them cut them big old sections out of them hives. Get that honey, or dangling 150, 300 feet off the ground. Moving on, Western Asia, a great mother fertility goddess known variously as May, Antis, Ray, Sybil, Istar, Atargatis, Artemis, and Diane was worshipped. Her cult reached the zenith in the temple of Artemis at Ephesus in present-day Turkey, one of 7 wonders of the ancient world. At the temple are 2 Roman copies of a wooden statue of Artemis, originally created in the 8th century BC and decorated with bees carved in relief. Artemis priests were also known as Essenes or king bees, and were like to be the bee nymphs that feature in Greek mythology, are likened. Yes. The bee nymphs also gave the gift of prophecy to Artemis' twin, Apollo, whose shrine at Delphi is one of the most significant historical sites at ancient Greece. Bee mythology also persists in Hinduism, and the qualities represented by bees continue to appear in modern religions over there. The bee symbol, the qualities of bees and their community in the hive have offered a source of inspiration since ancient times. Like honey, they are associated with eloquence and the power of spoken or written word. The word for bee in Hebrew is dur, debur, okay, is related to the word speech. The biblical name Deborah derives from this too. According to legend, some bees settled on the lips of Plato. Who's Plato? He one of them Greek guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Philosopher or something.
Okay. A bee settled on the lips of Plato when he was a baby, indicating his future brilliance with words. I must have had a dirt dauber land on my lips. A similar legend attaches to another famous figures of the past, including Sophilus, also known as the Attic bee because of his industriousness, Virgil, the saint of Ambrose, the patron saint of beekeepers, and there are texts from India in which the bee represents the spirit intoxicated with the pollen of knowledge. So we kind of get where the Greeks is going with stuff, but we'll get into I think this is, where's the Shakespeare? I was going to look for that Shakespeare part.
Oh, I was right. He was a great philosopher.
Plato?
Mm-hmm.
Where know what you call it go? I had to deal with Shakespeare, and I had a whole point behind wanting to know.
You didn't write it down, did you?
No, I didn't.
Mm-hmm. You didn't text it to yourself, did you?
So it's got to be right here, though. Okay, y'all bear with me. This is the end of the year, so we're gonna wrap this up good. We losing them.
Honey was looked at as a golden gift from the God.
Yeah, it mentions that in here in one of these. Okay. A political and economical model. And Percy Bysshe Shelley's A Song, Men of England, written in 1819. That was a pretty good song. The year of the Peterloo Massacre, in which demonstrators for parliamentary reform had been harshly dispersed by armed cavalrymen. The political lyric pictures capitalized society as divided in two hostile classes: the parasitic class, the drones, and the working class, the worker bee, is a rallying cry for the English working people to rise up against their political masters and oppressors and to free themselves from economic exploitation. Exploitation. Yeah. The hive was used by others as a model for democracy, where the individual bee subsumes its individuality for the good of the colony and as a symbol of monarchy, tyranny, and dictatorship. The efficiency of the solar system depends on the absolute rule of the queen. So she's in charge. The hive was also used as model for economic principles. In 1714, Dutch-born philosopher Bernard Mandeville, he was born in 1670, 1733, if anybody's wondering on that. He was, I guess, published The Fable of the Bees, or Private Vices and Public Benefits, consisting of a poem. The Grumbling Hive, or The Knaves Turned Honest, and a commentary on it. The poem, a political satire on 18th century England, presents a bee community that is thriving, if corrupt, until a member of the bees decide to turn from corruption or self-interest to honesty and virtue. As a result, there is a sharp drop in prosperity and the bees lose the hive, thereby illustrating how private vices are necessary to produce public benefit, regarding the cynical and offensive at the time. The book was nevertheless influential, offering an early examination of the workings of capitalism, not fully developed until the likes of Adam Smith and Karl Marx. Yeah, that's a bad dude there himself. I know who that is. And I'm going to say they just got a picture of this dude, but it's one of his quotes. The bee is considered an emblem of Christ, his mildness and mercy on one side. It's got in what you call it, parentheses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in parentheses, Christ, his mildness and mercy on one side. In the parentheses is honey, and his justice on the other, which would be the sting. Now the Christian symbolism, Saint Ambrose, a 4th century bishop of Milan, in Italy, saw the bees' apparent purity, chastity, and industrious behavior as an allegory
Allegory.
for the monastic life, and wrote numerous religious texts for the education and guidance of the early church. While according to the Confessions of St. Augustine, Ambrose bore his celibacy and hardship, he knew from Virgil and other ancient scholars that relations played no part in life. I had to, because we're not opening up gym talk, so I'm gonna change that. Relations played no part in life of the worker bee, and he encouraged Christian monks to think of the bee as its chaste, hard-working life as a model for their own. An emblem of thrift and industry, because of their association with selfless hard work, bees in their hives have frequently been adopted as a symbol of various groups. The Freemasons, who had their own funding principles, thrift and industry, order and stability, used the beehive as a symbol in official documents and drawings. No, Freemasons used them as a symbol in the Mason world. Now, in the 19th century, pioneers of the cooperative movement in Rochdale and Lancashire, England, used representations of wheat sheaf, which is a bundle of harvested wheat stalks, and the beehive in their official seals, because one ear of wheat cannot stand up on its own. With others in form of the wheat, it can, and one bee cannot survive alone in a beehive, but with others, it thrives. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or Mormons, sought to combine the ideas of the new America, a free nation determined to forge ahead through hard work and an orderly society working from common goals. You come to sit with us? Society working from common goals with its religious beliefs, and chose as its emblem the beehive, using it to consolidate its identity. When persecution drove the followers of the church west, they took the bees with them to what is now known Salt Lake City, Utah. The Book of Mormon features Deseret, I believe that's how we figured out saying that earlier, which is meaning honeybee. In the Deseret Times of 1881, the skeet was described as a significant representation of the industry, harmony, order, frugality of the people, and the sweet results of their toil, union, and intelligent corporation. The state of Utah is now known as the Beehive State. She done took off with the deal there for a minute. Are we losing y'all? I hope not. All right. There was one more little portion I was going to read in here to y'all. And this is actually pretty interesting. Back in these old ancient days, how they found honey and found bees. Hunting for wild honey, bee nests are usually tucked away in virtually inaccessible cavities or hidden in trees. They are tricky to find and even trickier to access. So, in addition to the threat of being stung, collecting honey from the hunter-gatherer societies of the Stone Age was a precarious task, but sustenance meant survival, and honey hunters were and remain brave and determined. The earliest records of honey gathering came from the rock art of the Stone Age in South Africa, Asia, Australia, and Europe. The oldest known in the cave of the spider, which is near eastern Spain, depicts a human perched precariously high on a rope ladder. To the left is the nest. In the figure's right hand is a basket for the honeycomb plunder. In another cave at the Barrick Fondo, also in Italy. In Italy, a scene shows honey hunters working together as a group. 4 people on a ladder tempted to reach stored honey in high crevices. While others waited below for the honeycombs to drop. The basic methods used these prehistoric honey hunters are still practiced in pockets of the world today. The Bedouin in the Syrian desert, the Vedas of Sri Lanka, and the Gurung people of Nepal, among others, all employ this technique. For many, such as the Indians, I'm not even going to try that. Hunting honey provides a valuable source of income. The biannual honey harvest also takes place in the foothills of the Himalayas in central Nepal, demonstrating that various taboos and rituals associated with honey hunting remain, including the harvesting of honey is preceded by offerings of fruit, flowers, and rice, as well as prayer. And how they found the honey. Early honey hunters, gatherers devised many skills in tracking bees. Check this out. Such as looking out. Now, who in the world is going to do this? They're looking out for their droppings on leaves. That's how the ancient people would track some of these bees back in the day.
I mean, they didn't have a whole lot of avenues to go to do what they had to do back then.
I mean, I get that, but buddy, you talk about having some good eyes.
Looking for bee poop on leaves.
Yeah, you need that old boy that can track the critter through the woods. That's the one you need leading that trail. But they would track them by looking at the droppings on leaves. They also tagged them to make them an easier track with red.
What's red ochre? A blade of grass?
Yep. Okay, with red ochre, a blade of grass, or an oxen hair. Somebody has a method of trapping bees. This was pretty cool to me. Has a method of trapping bees inside a reed filled with honey, then releasing them one by one to ascertain the direction of the nest. It is certainly more pleasant than the 18th century Eastern European method of soaking a bee in human urine to track it to its nest.
I don't understand how you would track a bee by soaking it in urine.
Me neither. You got me on that one. But it's pretty cool taking the reed.
Yeah.
And how they watch that thing fly off. Some of y'all probably seen there's an old dude. It's an older video, but he's sitting out in the middle of the field and he's got this little box. And he puts feed in one side of it. And the bees that are out there pollinating all that, they eventually come to, it's like a sugar syrup, what he's got. Mm-hmm. And they come in, they draw off of it, and they take it back to the nest. Well, he takes a marking pen and pretty much does that same thing. When that bee comes back, he'll mark her real quick, that little worker. See what direction she flies.
Mr. Dan said beelining.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Brian just said it's called beelining.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And apparently, you can order these little boxes off Google. I mean, if it is something you're interested that you want to do, but it's got the little box and everything. There's a little divider in there and a little window on the other side. And you trap them bees in and let them orientate. They go back, come to you in a few more minutes, and you just gradually start moving forward and forward and forward. But I thought that was pretty cool. And one last thing on it, there was a bird named the indicator or greater honey guide.
That's what Earl was just talking about. So there's a honey bird in Africa that will take a human or animal for honey.
Bingo. Yes, sir. That's where we at. The splendidly named bird, indicator, or great honey guide, shares a close relationship with humans in finding honey. While the bird is expert at tracking down bees' nests, it is not so expert at breaking into the nest for food. Humans, on the other hand, can open the nest but require assistance in locating it first. Honey hunters in tropical Africa discovered that this could benefit both parties. The chattering sounds of the slowly flashes of white on the greater honey guide's tail feathers as it flies from perch to perch toward the honey attract the hunters and lead them toward their goal. And they will often reward the little bird with leftovers from the broken honeycomb. So they hook them up.
Mm-hmm.
You help me find it. Here's you get a big old piece of honey. That's it. That's pretty.
Earl said, "Yep, that's it."
It's interesting how we work together on those ends of things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about what I got on that, y'all. What are we running on? Oh, just about 2 hours now, ain't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we starting to look. Everybody dropping on out now.
It is New Year's Eve.
It is.
People got family things to do this evening.
Yes, sir. Mm.
And then everybody gonna be getting up tomorrow and packing their cars to hit the road.
Shoot, I bet you. There's probably some of them that's already got them bags sitting at the door, kind of thing. All we got to do is load up and let's go.
Oh, I bet.
Put gas in the truck and it's time to hit the road, woman.
Lee was talking about that he changed the oil a couple days ago, and that man's ready to go.
Well,
A lot of them are.
we'll be praying for travel grace for every one of y'all that's going to the event.
Absolutely. I know it's going to be a lot of y'all got a long road trip.
Yeah, some of them, what, 10 or 12 hours, probably more than that.
Said something like 20-something hours for him was his drive time.
Well, yeah, he coming way over Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
But absolutely, y'all stay safe and enjoy yourselves. Have good fellowship.
Have an awesome time together.
And the ones of y'all gonna do like we're looking forward to some of y'all.
We want to see
doing them lives.
Y'all.
What's going on up there?
Mm-hmm.
Is that Mr. Larry Gandy?
Yeah, they came in a little bit ago. He said they're still down, but finally starting to feel a little bit better. It's still not quite to normal.
It's a good deal, bro. It took us a while to get over that mess. I'm talking about I don't want to be discouraging, but it took several weeks for us to get back on our feet. But glad to hear y'all doing much, much better, brother. And we'll continue praying for y'all and everybody else on the prayer list.
For sure.
That's about all I got for 2023, y'all.
Like I said, looking forward to a fresh start. See where Jesus is going to take us.
Yes, sir.
What's going to happen.
And we look forward to our guests.
Yes.
We'll be in contact with, we've seen a couple of y'all in here already, so we'll if it's all right with y'all, we'll go ahead and settle on the dates. Now, y'all don't say nothing in the chat because we ain't told nobody who y'all are yet, but
but you keep doing this.
I know. Let's just, build excitement.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
It's nerve-wracking for me because I'm thinking every time you open your mouth, it's going to slip. It's coming out.
No, I ain't going to tell. I won't tell who they are yet. Mm-hmm. But wonderful people. Both of them's got amazing stories, how they got started. And look forward to having y'all on, and I know everybody else is going
Enjoy.
to enjoy it as well.
Okay.
And I'll shut up now.
Thank you. You're ruining the surprise. It's not going to be a surprise anymore. DC says, say goodnight, Tim. Happy New Year.
Okay, y'all. Good night, everybody.
Seriously, y'all, they have a safe trip, an awesome week together. We'll talk to y'all soon.
God bless you. Lord willing, we'll see y'all on the next one.
That's it.
Y'all
Y'all
take care.
take care.